3 of the 5 allegations in the Sean Diddy Combs federal criminal prosecution, including the most serious ones of trafficking and racketeering, may have resulted in an acquittal. But the truth is that no judicial decision can completely remove the cultural stain that will accompany him. But before we get started, don't forget to grab something to eat at Organics. Calm, our online concession shop that offers a variety of freeze-dried treats. Butter, toffee peanuts, and applewood smoked bacon jerky. Diddy has spent 30 years cultivating a persona that is equal parts tastemaker, mogul, and unrepentant hedonist. You must enter the complex mind of someone who built an empire on extravagance, and show and then witnessed it begin to fall apart in public. In order to comprehend what transpires next? In the court of public opinion, being found not guilty on these charges does not always imply innocence. It is referred to as the taint of allegation in legal terminology. It's a social cognition bias when a person's link with a scandal persists even after they have received legal clearance. Seldom does the general public evaluate difficult evidence in the same manner as a juror. They frequently make snap decisions based on the initial story they hear, and any subsequent revisions seem like afterthoughts. In other words, there will always be people on the internet who believe that where there is smoke, there is fire, regardless of how many times the jury returns a not guilty verdict. Additionally, it was more than just smoke in this instance. The majority of us chalked up decades worth of free coughs, NDAs, payoffs, and industry rumors to the peculiarities of fame and fortune. Diddy's reputation has already been harmed, even if he was eventually found not guilty of 3 of the 5 charges. Will Diddy serve more time? So the question is Diddy essentially free, or will he serve further time? Although he was found guilty on 2 charges of transportation for the purpose of prostitution under the Mann Act, the maximum term of 10 years per count is rarely applied unless the behavior was extremely severe. Because he was found not guilty of racketeering and sex trafficking, it's possible that prosecutors are not inclined to advocate for the most severe punishment. Additionally, he might argue for probation, home arrest, or time served. The entire brand of his legal staff is transforming the worst-case scenarios into controllable PR setbacks. Not to mention the large sums of money that have traditionally covered up a lot of his previous issues. The convictions for interstate transportation for purposes of prostitution will likely lead to a sentence. That will be measured in months, not years, former federal prosecutor Mitchell Epner told the New York Post. According to U.S. sentencing guidelines, a sentence of 15 to 21 months will be the starting point. I'm so happy I received that for free, man. The reason is because I'm sick of watching us black moguls be defeated in such a manner, dude. I'm sick of witnessing black people oppose black moguls in this way. He would have lost his life in a relationship if he had been white. And there would have been a lot of white people out there demonstrating for him. Boy, shut up. You gave the grasshopper life. Do you not have some children to look after? Diddy is standing in the ashes of his own mythology, even if he escapes additional jail time. Whether he can face the true demons beneath his character will become clear over the next years, and how his career in the public light will develop. He'll probably keep quiet, make a statement, allow the public's focus to shift to the next controversy, and then gradually rebuild. It's likely that Diddy's staff is already constructing his new story, which will center on his family, new chapters, and lessons learned. Will he put up with the crazy parties and free coughs? Some internet users are hoping that he will eventually find a place to sit down. Yes, and I'd like to. However, history indicates that is improbable. A quiet and serene life can seem unbearable to someone like Diddy, who has perhaps never experienced a life without continual excitement, excess, and power over others. The true danger is the urge to resume his bizarre way of life, because there's a good chance he will use this decision as evidence that he is untouchable. The next implosion is practically certain if that occurs. What does rehabilitation entail? What does rehabilitation even look like after a lifetime of excess? Legally speaking, he has some leverage to repair his reputation because he was found not guilty on 3 counts. PR crisis management companies will recommend the standard strategies. such as a well-produced sit-down interview with a sympathetic journalist, ambiguous thoughts on blunders, a charitable turnabout, and possibly a documentary redefining his legacy. People frequently underestimate how forgiving the public is, particularly when you give them the impression of accountability without actually putting them at risk. Admitting that many of the decisions he praised were detrimental would require humility. It would take guts to face what he sees in the mirror without the crowd or the adulation. Ironically, it would be much simpler for society to move on if Diddy just disappeared into oblivion. He doesn't back down, though. He has never been satisfied with simply disappearing into the background. He continued to post on social media as if he didn't care at all, even after his properties were raided. Even if the attention he gets is unfavorable, it might be safe to assume that he is hooked on the spotlight. For this reason, psychologists think that Diddy's image rehabilitation is just a show, unless he's prepared to demolish the inner framework that gave rise to his darkest impulses. Many did not feel exonerated by the verdict. It seemed like a compromise. Evidence that the system can occasionally restrain the powerful, but never completely hold them responsible. Diddy will continue to experience this strain even after the sentence part is over. The court of public opinion has already issued a more nuanced ruling that he is no longer the untouchable icon he once was. Even if he escapes prison,